Dude, you should totally try out for a drum corps sometime. Oh man, that'd be incredible. But I play saxophone, and woodwinds aren't allowed in drum corps. Well, I mean, you could learn a brass instrument, I guess, but I don't think I could ever be good enough. Well, how are you gonna know unless you try? I just don't think it'd be worth my time. So I hear a lot about woodwind players who think that they'll never be able to march drum corps because they don't play a brass instrument or something like that. And what this video is basically for is telling you that it is possible to learn a brass instrument and march a summer with a drum corps. And this is something I know from personal experience. So a little about me. My first instrument was clarinet in 4th grade, and then in 6th grade I switched to bass clarinet, and I played that up until 10th grade. And after that I switched to tenor sax because marching bass clarinet in marching band was awful, so I never played any brass instruments in high school. I saw my first live DCI show in 2008, which was an incredible year. There was Spartacus, Samurai, Constantly Risking Absurdity, and I was blown away. But I never really thought of it as something that I could do. I was kind of just like, oh my gosh, I've never seen bands like this before, oh my god, they're so good, I can never do this. Then in 2010, one of my best friends actually made a world-class drum corps, and I came to see them at one of their performances, and it was amazing. And he actually came out to me afterwards and told me, you should learn a brass instrument and try out for a drum corps. So after that, I borrowed a mellophone from my high school after I graduated, and I practiced that thing every single day over the summer. I had some help from one of my best friends who played mellophone in high school band. Then I played it for college band. So before my first audition for the 2011 season, I think I probably had 6 or 7 months of experience on the horn, and then I got a contract. So the first thing you need to do if you're going to learn a brass instrument is to pick an instrument. Trumpet, mellophone, baritone, euphonium, or contra. If you're used to playing an instrument that usually gets the melodies, you may want to consider 2nd or 3rd trumpet. If you're used to having counter melodies, then mellophone would be a good choice. If you're used to playing the strong backing voices, then baritone or euphonium would be pretty good. And if you're just feeling daring, go for contra. But really, it's all up to you. You should pick whatever interests you the most. So the next thing that you need to do is get a horn to practice on. What I did, like I said, was I borrowed one from a high school. You can ask your band director if you can borrow any extra horns that they have so that you can practice on one. If that doesn't work, you can try to borrow from a friend who plays that instrument. And if all else fails, just try to get a mouthpiece at least. And that brings us to the fun part, learning how to play. The best thing you can do is ask your band director or friend if they could help you out. Maybe they could give you private lessons, or they could refer you to someone who can, because I can't really fit a whole brass tutorial in one video. But the most basic thing to learn is how to buzz on your mouthpiece. Since you're probably used to vibrating a reed or blowing air through a flute, you're going to want to work on getting steady tones out, then hitting different pitches. And the way that I worked on that was I would take it in the car with me and buzz along to the radio. When you start getting good at that, you can start working on lip slurs and sirens. Once you get that down, all that's left to do is to practice a ton. The biggest thing when you're learning a new instrument is not to get discouraged. Think about when you were learning your woodwind instrument. It was probably pretty tough because that was probably your first time learning a musical instrument. And I'm guessing you already know how to read music and to breathe correctly. You should practice your new instrument as much as you can, but also don't neglect your other instruments. And since you're auditioning for drum corps, also work on moving while playing, especially if your original instrument is a reeded instrument. If you're going from having this nice and stable in your mouth to this which rests against your lips and not in your mouth. It's a different embouchure, so it requires a different kind of control. The last thing I want to talk about is actually auditioning. There are some corps that'll take anybody, even if you've never played a brass instrument before, and they'll teach you as you go. When you start getting to the upper corps, you'll need a little bit more extensive work. It'll be more challenging, but it's not impossible. If you have a dream corps in mind, like one that you've always wanted to march, you can try working your way up to it. I actually had a visual tech this summer she was originally a clarinet player, and she marched for a DCA corps, Drum Corps Associates, for 1 year. Then she moved on to a world-class corps, marched there for, I think, maybe 2 years or something. And for her age out, she marched with the Blue Devils. So it's definitely possible. And if you have any more questions about auditioning, you can check out the video I made about the audition camps, and I'll put that in the description bar. I think that's all I needed to cover. Thanks for watching, you guys. Make sure to leave a comment, like, and subscribe, and tell me what you'd like to see me make a video about next. See ya!